to see this group out here, but 1-1 pitch to the slapper, changeup, kind of got her out in front. So from a left-handed side, a left-handed pitcher throwing a changeup is very good for a left-handed slapper.
Now Kayla Mick stands in. Was 3 of 4 a day ago in an elimination game against Midland. 2 singles and a double. The junior from Klamath Falls, Oregon, a first-team All-Player for the 3rd straight season in the Cascade Conference.
Oregon Tech's got several of these lefties that got a high batting average, can steal some bases, doubles, pretty well-rounded offensive team, I believe.
Brad, how important is it for the top of the first to get off to a good start at the plate?
Well, that's one of the things you want to at least make these ABs go a little bit longer, not be a quick in and out. When the pitcher, you want to make it last 4 or 5 pitches so people on deck and the dugout can see, what the pitcher's going to throw today, what's going to be our go-to pitch, especially early. And so right now the lefty on lefty is an interesting combination. She's worked outside in a couple of changeups already, so hopefully that's some good feedback.
The 1-2 hit to left. What a play from the Gold Glove senior. Savannah Harwager starts things off in the field with a catch at short.
It's a nice little backhand. Those slappers, that hole is right there, that deep 5-6 shallow left field, and you got to have an athletic shortstop that can cover that ground.
Savannah Harwager stands at 5'9", but she used all of it for out number 2.
This is a good matchup with Buckholz coming in with 10 home runs on the year, batting in a 3 spot.
Buckholz, 2 of those 10 homers yesterday in the win over Midland.
Like her approach, she come in obviously with a plan. She's on top of the plate and up in front of the plate.
Smacks it to center, a diving play for Anna Pritchett. The freshman ends the top of the first like Wonder Woman laying out in center field. Marian tries to turn defense to offense.
Excellent play. A lot of folks don't realize how hard it is for a center fielder to come charging straight in and dive head first. It's easier to dive laterally, but to be coming forward, the ball's dying like that, that's a great athletic play.
No score after the top of the first. The Knights to the bats after this. Oregon Tech goes 1-2-3 in the top of the first. They head to the field for the first time in a winner advances matchup. First matchup for Casey Schmidt, the sophomore, Cascade Conference Pitcher of the Year. Two wins so far this tournament for Casey Schmidt. The sophomore with 17 innings pitched has given up just 6 earned runs and has struck out 7. The lone loss of the tournament for Oregon Tech was not hers, though she came in relief after 2 innings with the Owls down by 4. Schmidt came in to finish the game for 3 innings at least. Gave up 5 runs in that one, but a conference matchup with their rival. It was the team from Ashland who won 10-0. It was a 16-hit performance from the Raiders, who already have clinched a spot in the championship game. These two teams trying to fight their way to meet them. Harwager with a slapper to short, across, for one.
It's a big one pitch out right off the bat. You're probably facing the best hitter or one of the best hitters in the entire country. You get her out on the first pitch. That's a good start.
Now Anna Pritchett steps up. Was 1 of 3 yesterday. She's got a hit in all 4 games played.
So we're seeing 5 batters, 5 lefties.
Is that a trend in college softball these days?
Kind of goes back and forth a little bit, you know. Obviously, home runs have become a big thing the last 10 years in college softball, but I still think it holds true. Most teams do have a 1 or 2 in the 9-hole, or kind of still your traditional lefties, table setters, if you will.
Anna Pritchett this season, 289 average. The 2-1 popped up, shallow left. Play is made by the sophomore Zoe Allen. So far, 5 up, 5 down in game 1 of our doubleheader on ESPN.
Good high pitch. Got her to get a little bit underneath the ball to get some air on that 5-6 hole and hitting that shallow left field.
Abby Madeir is slugging at .512 this season. 10 doubles and 4 homers for the freshman. Strike called by Antonio Flores behind the plate.
You can kind of see so far every pitch, both teams have pretty much been some safety pitches, some outside stuff, and outside the zone a little bit, just trying to feel the way through the water right now.
A bouncer, fair, down the third base line. Madeir turns at first with a stand-up double. Abby Madeir continues the inning for the Knights.
As soon as I said that, the ball gets up a little bit, and then hitter take advantage, got on top of it, and drove a chopped ground ball down that left field line.
Sierra Norman was 1 of 2 yesterday with a walk. She stands in with the game's first run in scoring position.
Now I got to think, you got first base open with 2 outs, and Norman has 11 home runs and 55 RBIs, so I can be a little bit careful with this kid. Make sure she doesn't get stretched out and catch a ball out in front. Another curveball outside.
A homegrown lineup for the team from Indianapolis, Marian. All the starters from the home state. The Beaverton, Oregon native Casey Schmidt eyes down the 2-1.
Schmidt still being very careful. 3-1 count. I will see this one probably off the plate as well.
The runner at second, Sierra Norman at the plate. Ball 4. And that brings up Haley Green, who is just 1 of 13 in the World Series. Like you were saying, Coach, not the worst thing in the world to put a runner at first in that situation.
Especially in the first inning. You know, there's going to be plenty of times the rest of the game they're going to have to pitch to her, and just don't, you know, you don't want to get behind one in the first inning. So
Hit to short. Kayla Mick unable to make the play. Now some trouble for the Owls. An error on the junior at short.
Yeah, it looked like Kayla Mick kind of pulled her head up trying to get rid of the ball, shuffling over to the second baseman a little bit too quick.
Now it's Grace Meyer. The designated player.
Kayla Smith came back a little more juice on that pitch right there.
Still trying to find where Antonio Flores' zone begins and ends. It starts right there down the heart of the plate. That a strike in every umpire's book.
It should be. We hope it is. I've seen it sometimes where it's not, though, Jack.
Well, speaking to the head of umpiring here at the NAIA, every zone by rule is the same. Though the first inning, a chance for the home plate umpire to set the parameters of what will happen for that game.
I'm a coach by nature, so the rule book is full of all those things, but it seems like sometimes every umpire has a little different the way they interpret some rules too, especially strike zones, so I have to be on the coach's side on that one.
2 outs with the bases loaded. The 1-2 from Casey Schmidt. Are you all right with a strike zone that may not be particularly normal as long as it's consistent?
As long as it's consistent, but I like a tight zone.
Called strike 3. The bases left loaded. Casey Schmidt gets out of the jam.
2-2 changeup, Frozer. Outside part of the plate. That's a great pitch on a 2-2, especially with bases loaded.
Meyer goes down looking. We head to the second scoreless in Columbus, Georgia. 4-1 in Columbus, Georgia, the NAIA Softball World Series. 42nd annual Spring Classic. 5th time being held in the Peach State. Sydney Wilson back to work, went 1-2-3 in the first inning. This the heart of the lineup, J.C. Sievert. The catcher stands in, awaiting her first hit of the World Series. Not gonna be here. A nice play from Haley Green for out number 1.
A little good low pitch, probably a drop ball or maybe a little curve. It has a little drop action. Seems to be, Wilson doesn't have a lot of strikeouts, but I think she's a ground ball pitcher.
3 Gold Glovers in the field for the Marian defense. Haley Green, one of them. Harwager already made her presence known in the first with a catch on a line drive. The third, the freshman in center field, who ended the first inning with a diving catch. Harwager pops it up and makes the play.
Willie Mays Hayes from Major League basket catch overhead, right?
The lob and the finish. Savannah Harwager, that's how you earn Player of the Year in the Crossroad Leagues. The senior already showing off. You think she knows we're on ESPN?
I feel like she makes that catch every day. I think she does it probably in the backyard too, so I don't think it matters.
Kenzie Staub.
Good off-speed pitch. So we're seeing all our lefties now. We're seeing all of our righties, the latter part of 4 or 5 batters, both teams.
That one got a piece of Staub. Antonio Flores will give her a break.
Maybe a good thing, not that she got hit, but Wilson seems like she likes to work on a fast pace, so don't get caught up in letting her pound the strike zone and ground ball after ground ball. Hitters, they need to change their timing up a little bit and get her uncomfortable.
Quick conversation with head coach Greg Stewart. Wilson ready to get to work again. She told me before the tournament, umpires hate me. I work so quick.
She does.
The 1-2. Fouled away. Wilson won all 3 opening round games, all in one day.
Another off speed. Keeping everything low. That's should serve her well throughout the day.
Perhaps expect a riser after that. Popped down the third base line in foul territory. The catch is made. And that retires the side. 6 up, 6 down for the Owls. Savannah Baker earlier in this tournament had a grand slam against Our Lady of the Lake. That proved to be what the Knights needed to win. A grounder to Schmidt to first for 1.
Great pitch. Didn't get the first pitch called a strike, but come right back, low and away.
Outside of the opening game that Marian played, they've been involved with some high-scoring affairs. (6-3) a win over Our Lady of the Lake. And then a 9-6 loss to Cumberland's that sent them to the losers bracket. But they put up 6 again in a shutout victory over the Grizzlies of Georgia Gwinnett yesterday.
Well, you know, this field is 220 in dead center, so we've played here. My team's played here several times as well, and there's plenty of room in the gaps and down the line. Triples and a lot of extra base hits can get run out there a little bit.
Again, Schmidt to Puakea Milbourne for number 2.
Another great pitch, curveball low and away.
You see the shift in center field as Lexi Klum is all the way over, well behind her second baseman, Nita Cook.
Yeah, in the top of the first, it could have been because Lefty was her batting, but where she goes. I noticed that Smith didn't throw a lot inside to the couple of righties that she did see, but it looked like now she's coming out throwing some outside balls, and they shifted over a little bit.
Mackenzie Dalton in the 9-hole. 5 strikeouts, 0 of 9 since coming to Columbus. Gets a piece of that one. Oh, what a diving catch from Buchholz. All the Gold Glovers showing off. The second inning completed.
Listen, Jack, if they know we're on ESPN, and that's why they're making the plays, there's been about 4 top 10 plays already.
She got the glove flesh against the grass, and she wants to go grab her bat. Oregon heads to the plate in the 3rd after this. Sydney Wilson has been ready to pitch for 30 seconds. The senior really warms up quick, doesn't she, Coach?
If she had her way, she already got 3 outs. Now she's back in the 4th inning now.
We had a game earlier this tournament go an hour and 7 minutes.
Wow.
Pitchers.
That's old school softball. I think I did a thing with our conference. Our average conference softball games this year are 2 hours and 37 minutes.
Crack to center, a base hit for Puakea Milbourne. With her family in the stands after making the trip from Honolulu, Hawaii, Milbourne with the first hit on the day for Oregon Tech.
It's a great swing. Wilson let it get up on her a little bit, and Milbourne took advantage and got her bat head out front. Nice line drive, dead center.
Now Addison Kashnik. At 5'11", a big strike zone on her, but she cracked a solo home run in the top of the third last game against Midland. That home run in the top of the third yesterday proved to be the game-winning run, a 6-0 win for the Owls. They've been hot and cold this tournament. Kashnik with a base hit. Milbourne to second, no outs, 2 on.
Again, Wilson let the ball get up. Kind of got jammed a little bit, but was able to get enough of the bat to get the ball to left field.
A pinch runner comes off the bench for Oregon Tech as the third baseman, Addie Kashnik, will take a seat in favor of Abby Wiry.
I like it. That's 2 pinch runners back-to-back, and it's only the third inning. Kind of get the idea it's going to be a close game. Let's get some speed out there quick.
Running at second is Maddie DeVerna. DeVerna takes third. I beg your pardon, it's Olivia Spraga who is pinch running at first base for the Owls, but it's Maddie DeVerna who steals third.
Yeah, a little bit of a lot of action, kind of a bunt pull back across the catcher's eyes. Hit out of her mid, good base running by the pinch runner, DeVerna.
Into the netting behind home plate.
It's a good pitch. First, third situation, no outs. Start 2 strikes. So you kind of think she's not going to continue to try to bunt after that foul ball, especially. So Wilson, she's got to get something out of the zone, get her jammed up, get a pop up to the infield. Don't really want to give a ground ball up to the middles. You can probably give it a run there.
The 1-2. Popped once more. This is the bottom of the order. Nita Cook, the 9-hole hitter.
And Cook's thinking opposite. She's thinking about 2 strikes, shorten her swing up, put the ball in play. See if I can get the runner at third across the plate. Change up, reaching out.
33 RBIs on the season for Nita Cook, who made the Sports Center top 10 just last night with her play in the field. A diving effort at second base, didn't leave the glove, flipped it over for the final out of an inning.
Nice.
A block at the plate from Roop, but Spraga steals second. The double play ball taken out. No runner at first. Well, at first, Cook was fouling off to her left behind the plate. Now a bit more straightened out.
Ball's got a little bit outside. She's got her timing.
Once more, that just into the bullpen where a Marian pitcher is already warming up in the third inning. 2 runners in scoring position.
Maybe a good time for a 2-2 change outside.
Instead, it's inside.
It's our first big key moment of the game, Jack.
With no outs, a full count. Oregon got out of a jam in the first when Marian had the bases loaded. Now Wilson has to get out of her own. Hit into left field. DeVerna scores. Sprague scores. An easy stand-up double for Nita Cook.
Excellent AB by Nita Cook. Foul by, I think, 6-5. Inside pitches off. Continue to stay in that part of the plate.
Oregon Tech, the first lead on the day in the top of the third. It's 2-0. A pinch hitter at the top of the lineup. The junior Jensen Becker taken off the bench by head coach Greg Stewart. This is her first at bat of the World Series. The bunt ruled foul. Coach, on your bench, do you have players specifically built for bunting?
Yes, and that's what I was trying to figure out, what the thought process here. And it has to be, I guess, another left-handed bunter. Or
instead, a base hit. Cook turns around third and makes it a 3-0 lead for the Owls.
Hey. So what he did, he put a pinch hitter. I need a single RBI single hitter up the middle. That's what he put in. So these guys, they know their roster.
Becker designed for the moment. OIT, a 3-0 lead, and Sydney Wilson has got to figure something out. The bottom of the lineup, with no outs, go single, single, double, all coming around to score.
I'm pretty sure that's not Jensen Becker's first time coming in and pinch hitting in a big situation. She looked pretty calm and cool about what she was doing there in her AB.
Just her 29th appearance this season, but 12th RBI. Now Kayla Mick in the 2-hole with no outs and a runner at first. Looks to build off this lead for Oregon Tech.
Marian, they got to find a way to get a ground ball somewhere or infield pop up. They need some kind of out that they don't have to work so hard. They just need to get it out on the board real quick.
Up the middle. Safe all around, still no outs. And Maggie Buckholtz steps up. Sydney Wilson has not seen a game like this tournament.
Jack, I believe they're going to the bullpen. I'm not sure. Looks like somebody's coming in the dugout. Can't see the number.
With the 3-hole hitter Buckholtz due up. The fence was open to the bullpen. Now closed. Well, what's this now? Wilson exits the game. With 3 runs and no outs put on the board in this third inning, Marian makes a change. Out of the bullpen comes the 2022 and 23 Crossroad League's Pitcher of the Year, Olivia Stunkel. Through this tournament, Stunkel has a win and a loss, giving up 9 earned runs, striking out 3.
Warming up, Stunkel looks a little more like a power pitcher. She does have 167 strikeouts on the year, so she looks like she throws the ball a little bit harder. Maybe a curve screw rise kind of kid in her warm-up session. Oregon Tech was getting the bat head out in front. Pretty good on Wilson, so maybe a little faster speed. That she got a good one to go against Buckholz.
No outs and a runner at first and second. In the 3-hole, Maggie Buckholz steps up after flying out to center, though just barely. It was a diving play from Anna Pritchett that ended the first inning.
You see Buckholz a little bit behind on that, so there's a little change of speed. You don't want her to get, if you're Marian, you don't want her to put a 3-run shot up here. You need an out.
Buckholz lifts it to right, though foul.
Good change up. Kept it low, kept it in.
Maggie Buckholz with 2 runners on. Each time she stepped up to bat yesterday, there was 1 runner on. 2 of those times she sent it over the fence in right field. The 0-2 from Olivia Stunkel. Just below the knees.
Another change up. If you're Marian, wouldn't mind having a ground ball to third or short, get the lead runner at third.
Popped high in the air within the infield. 3 Knights converge on it.
Tell you what, Stunkel went after her. She threw that ball, looked like a screwball. Could be a rise or a screwball inside. She challenged her.
Sierra Norman makes the play at first base. It was right to her area. 1 down with J.C. Sievert up at the plate for the Oregon Tech Owls. They were in the championship 2 years ago, Oregon Tech was. A liner to third, no play to double up to be made by Haley Green, but 2 outs now in back-to-back fashion.
It's a great pitch. Inside, kind of get off her hands a little bit. Had a chance for a double play ball. Runners didn't. Did a good job. The base runners did a good job of not getting too far off, but it's a good spot.
These pitchers have helped each other out throughout this World Series. Stunkel had the start against Our Lady of the Lake, who was the 2 seed. Pitched 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, with 2 strikeouts as well. But it was Wilson who came in as things got testy in the 6th, through 2 innings to earn the save. Stunkel looks to help out her senior. That first pitch strike. How important is that, Coach?
Especially right now. Got to slow things down, get ahead. That way you can work on that side.
Skied to left. It's the center fielder, Anna Pritchett, who calls off the shortstop to make the play. 2 left on base, but 3 big runs put up on the board by Oregon Tech have them in the driver's seat, heading to the bottom of the 3rd. Columbus, Georgia. 2 days from now, the red banner will be handed out to our national champion. 10 teams came to Columbus. We're down to the final 4. The winner of this matchup between Oregon Tech and Marian plays in back-to-back fashion. 7 p.m. tonight, game 2 of our doubleheader begins with the winner of this game taking on the 3-seeded Cumberland's Patriots. Savannah Harwager leads things off. Top batting average in the country.
So Marian's coming up. They're coming around the lineup for the second time. You're down 3. Got to think what kind of adjustments do you make the first time? You know, you ran through. You had some base runners on the first 2 innings. What kind of adjustment can you make? Very important. Try to situational and get 1 run, get that back, at least 1 run back this inning.
Casey Schmidt, the sophomore, went 1-2-3 last inning.
I always feel good when my leadoff is coming back after we just gave up a couple and think, okay, this is the inning where we can adjust and get 1 or 2 of those runs back.
This top of the lineup for Marian has been the hottest of the lineup for the Knights throughout the tournament. Though last game, a combined 3 for 10.
Close tape.
Our umpiring crew, Antonio Flores, 7 years of collegiate experience. Calls balls and strikes in the Big Ten and the ACC as well. For the Michigander.
You kind of see already whether this is the pitcher or the hit it, offense or defense. All of a sudden now these ABs have slowed down. They're no longer the first pitch, second pitch swing. You know, both teams feel like they've probably gotten through that first wave and now making their adjustments.
The payoff to the .490 hitter.
You know, that's something we talk about with my team is the first 2-3 innings sometimes seem like they just go like in 8-10 minutes, you know, quick. And then your middle of the game seems like it lasts forever. Then all of a sudden that when you're in that tight game at 6th and 7th inning, it seems like that's a whole nother game by itself. So we're in that mid-range right now.
Harwager earns a walk to get on base for the first time today.
It's a great AB. Wasn't as aggressive as she was the first time. Filled it out a little bit, make her throw some pitches. And, you know, leadoff walk is, I don't know how many times they score, but
Pritchett drops a bunt. Kashnik to first. Pritchett advances Harwager to second.
it's a great bunt, shallow. There's no way they could have got the lead runner at 2. It's a great left-handed bunt. Got you Madeir, Abby Madeir batting. Hit a double last time out.
Always interesting in those sacrifice bunt situations. When you've got the corners moving in down the line, the second baseman comes over to cover first. But Nita Cook, the freshman, is a lefty. A righty. Glove on her left hand. A bit more tricky to make that throw to first without hitting the batter, no?
That's right. A lot of times you're looking to go get the lead runner at 2, you know. But when a bunt's put in that kind of situation, you got to kind of rotate your body like that. It is a hard play to make, especially when you got a lefty who's already 3 or 4 or 5 steps closer to first base.
This infield for Oregon Tech, very young. 3 freshmen. The lone junior stands at shortstop. Strike 1 on the 3-0. Schmidt finds the zone.
She's being very careful. She want to make sure she makes Madeir hit her pitch.
She hits her pitch out to right field over the head of Buckholtz. It rolls to the fence. Coach Fleming sends Harwager. Marian is on the board with a response in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, that's a great piece of hitting. That ball's high and away. Maybe not even a strike. Drives that ball over right fielder's head for a double.
Two doubles on the day for Abby Madeir.
So we got that one run back that we talked about in the beginning of the inning. Now, if I'm Norman and Marian over there, got one out, runner two. Let's try to hit the ball in the gap some more. Let's try to get another run. Now you're sitting pretty.
A big hack for Norman.
Nice. I think a lot of teams think sometimes when you give up three, you got to score three. You don't have to do that. You just got to score one. And if you can get two here, then go ahead and get your second one. And if that's all you get, then move on to the next inning.
You could see that in Scott Fleming's signal to have the two-hole hitter, Anna Pritchett, sacrifice bunt Harwager over to second.
That's right. And he knew he had some kids coming up here that can extend on it. It's a good little battle here, too. One count.
Coach Fleming in his 20th season with the Knights, 720 wins. A high crack of the bat to center. It's gone! Sierra Norman ties the game in the third with a two-run home run.
There's only one thing about getting an extra run to make it 3-2, and that's hitting a two-run home run to tie it right back up. So great job of Marian coming right back, getting right back in it. Now we're back stuck to where we started, 0-0 basically. You see Sierra Norman, she that 2-0 count or the 2-1 count, or one, I think it was a 1-1 count swing she had, took a big cut. She's taking a big cut right there for that home run, dead center field.
The first home run off Casey Schmidt, all World Series. Comes in her 20th inning that she's played in Georgia. Greg Stewart makes his way off the bench to talk to his sophomore. Coach Stewart in his 19th season, two of the most veteran coaches in the World Series. Coach Stewart on the hunt for win number 700 himself.
Yeah, these are veteran coaching staffs, veteran teams. You know, they know the roster.
Coach Stewart, 697 wins.
There's no panic in either team. Going up three, been behind three. These are championship level teams. There's no panic.
Oregon Tech won the championship in 2011. Haley Green gets hit. She doesn't look too phased. The trot down to first. Well worth it.
I think you got her on her forearm. I think yeah, she looks like she's a beast up there. She's probably been pitched inside and been hit that way a couple times. You got to respect that for your teammate. You know, get an opportunity for your next teammate to come in and do something.
Kenzie Staub is up in the bullpen for Oregon Tech. A swing and a miss for Grace Myers. She went down looking in the first.
She didn't swing in the first pitch last time, but she took a big hack right there. So she's not going to look this time. Let's wait and see. We got some changeups coming over the rest of this AB.
Outside, J.C. Sievert, one of three Gold Glovers on the field for Oregon Tech. Her, the first baseman, Milborn, and the senior out in right, Buchholz, who is a bit more in right center at the moment. You think back to that long double from Abby Madeir that went over the head of Buchholz, seemed to just misread it. Rolled all the way to the fence that scored Harwager.
You know, that whole pitch, the pitch was up and away, like the whole play, and the right fielder was kind of surprised by it. It was just kind of it was kind of just a funny thing how it happened. But she got her bat head up to it. And get your bat head out there. Things are going to travel a little bit.
A single through the left side. Grace Meyer reaches for the first time this afternoon. Green advances to second.
It just shows you what kind of hitters these kids are. You know, Grace Meyer took a big cut on that first pitch, and now she's selling for a ground ball to the 5-6-0. And, you know, opposite for Madeir, who hit a double down left field line. Then she goes right field.
The freshman Savannah Baker.
Another big first pitch cut.
She grounded out to Casey Schmidt an inning ago.
That's the whole battle. You know, the first couple batters this inning were patient, got some base runners, and he scored some runs. And now all of a sudden, here they come out first pitch, and as the opponent, you're kind of like, man, I want to get ahead, but I can't give up another big double. This is what the game's about. Such a lot of strategies. You know, as a pitcher, you want to get ahead, but there's sometimes you don't want to get ahead when you see the other team swinging at first pitches, and it's kind of blood in the water right now. But this is championship level play.
The 1-2. Hit to left center. It drops and rolls to the wall. Haley Green scores. A stand-up double for Savannah Baker as the Marian Knights respond in a major way. They take the lead for the first time.
Not a bad pitch. You can see that ball's out off the plate. Baker just gets her head around the bat head around the ball.
With Meyer at third.
If anything, when hitters reach around, even though the ball is outside off the corner, the height of the ball is what makes the hitters be able to reach around for that double.
A pinch hitter in the designated player spot, Lily Wendt. She has gone 1 of 5 in the World Series, but was a perfect 1 of 1 against Georgia Gwinnett. In the meantime, Casey Schmidt's day is done. Now in the circle, Mackenzie Staub. Staub this World Series, just one appearance, and it was the start against Southern Oregon. Went 2 innings, gave up 4 runs, 2 of which were earned, and got hit for a home run.
This is interesting, and we're going to argue it. Again, I don't know these rosters, but it seems to me that Marian probably started their number 2, and Oregon Tech probably started their number 1 in Smith. Now we switched.
Mm-hmm.
So we now got the other teams 1, the other team 2, at least by statistical, at least by the stats. That's seems to be what's going on.
And this is really going to play an effect in the second game as well.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. And as a coach, you're always worried about the next game, but then it's hard. But you got to stop yourself and say, listen, we don't take care of this inning and the next inning in this game, and you don't have no worries for the next one. You're not going to be playing. So, but it does. You try to factor it in. You try not to factor it in. But right now we got a great game, 4-3 game, and turned into this inning to be a slugfest. So all hands on deck.
Thought it was all defense to start things out, Coach. But quickly that has changed. A bunt in the batter's box for a foul ball.
Like it, Marian, going a little short ball, try to put a squeeze down. This is beautiful game. This is the beautiful thing about this game. The first 2 innings, and like I said, the 3rd, 4th, 5th is going to bring its own, and then the 6th and 7th is going to bring another game. So, we don't know how long this slugfest is going to last. There may be some zeros up for the next 2 innings, but everybody making adjustments.
Lily Went skies it foul. This Marian team started the season with a scrimmage at Indiana. For an NAIA to go and scrimmage a team in the Big Ten, no less one of the best in the country, they lost just 3-0 and played very well. Coach Scott Fleming, knew he had himself a team leaving that game and going back to Indianapolis.
Well, I can tell you, it's important for teams to go and play these Pirate 5D1s in the fall. And it's a good measuring stick. It's good to see what you're good and what you're bad at. We try to do the same thing. And when you play a good game against them in the fall, you kind of have a good confidence going into the spring.
Hit to center. Lexi Klum retires out number 2, but tagging from third, Grace Myers slides in. Why not dirty up the uniform? Marian extends their lead. Meyer loses her belt as Oregon Tech loses the lead in the bottom of the third.
That's an impressive AB by Lily Went. Kept seeing outside pitches, and all she needed to do is do that right there, get a fly ball and get a tag up. A good situational softball. That's a great AB coming off the bench. That's her doing her job for the day.
To the 9-hole hitter, Mackenzie Dalton. Flew out to right, which ended the second inning. So funny how the vibe at a ballpark changes day to day. The first day, Coach, it was all defense. 3 low scoring, 2-0, 2-0, 2-1.
It's the most beautiful thing about this game. And you know, one of my buddies from a long time ago, his son is an All-American on the NAIA baseball team, and for 2 years he has not grounded out into a double play, and they made the World Series this year, and he came in the bottom of the ninth, and what happened, he grounded out to double play for the first time in his career. And it makes no sense sometimes.
Well, it was highly offensive here on Saturday.
You know, this is the baseball and softball is so unpredictable. You just never know, and I think it's the most unpredictable sport there is. And it's what makes it awesome.
Saturday, part of that schedule was Southern Oregon's 10-0 win over Oregon Tech, Marian's 9-6 loss to Cumberland's. Just yesterday, Marian with a 6-0 win, Oregon Tech with a 6-0 win, and Southern Oregon a 9-1 win. It felt like no team could come back yesterday. Today, anybody's ball game. As we end the third, Marian, after falling behind 3-0 in the now her opponent pitcher leads off the top of the fourth as Kenzie Staub gets ready.
Got to see what kind of approach Oregon Tech's going to have here in the fourth. You got Snuckle, who came in the last inning and went 3 up, 3 down, essentially out of relief. So now you just gave it the 5. You're down 2, playing for 1 run, but you also we would take our time here and let this nearer pitcher see what she can do before we would try to get on the aggressive side. It's kind of like the top of the first inning kind of stuff here. You know, you don't have to score here in the fourth. Just get some good information so you take on to the latter part of the game. So far, it looks to me Snuggles more of a screwball, rise ball type kid inside. See if they make any kind of adjustments backing off the plate. I like the patience, 2-1 count. Nothing wrong with leadoff walks.
You think the pitcher, Kenzie Staub, is taking anything from Olivia Stunkel as they battle each other in this at-bat?
Yeah, you know, pitchers own pitchers. They kind of have their own pitchers that hit, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
They have their own. They have their own way of thinking through ABs. So, you know, I'm sure that Stiles, okay, you know, I've got 2 or 3 pitches inside, so she's probably waiting on something slow or something outside, but she's still aware of the inside. There's a slow and away. She didn't bite on it. So I guess what I'm saying is, you know, pitchers that hit have a whole different approach to AB sometimes than non-pitchers, and sometimes it's a bad thing. Sometimes they think too much, but I think right there Staub kind of had a good idea of at the inside than a changeup.
Well, she can take all the time to think at first base after taking the walk. Puakea Milbourne drops a bunt. Covered by Norman. Throw over to Dalton. Gets out of her glove. Puakea now lies on the ground in foul territory. Meanwhile, Staub goes to third. But all concern now for the Hawaiian freshman who meets with 2 coaches.
Yeah, it kind of looks like she kind of stumbled a little bit on first base.
Bobby Mick and Jamie Levac.
Well, I don't know. It kind of looks like maybe after she went past that. Hoping it's some type of just a little light cramp.
Now all 3 coaches come over to lift her up. Milbourne back up on her feet. Her parents from Hawaii made the trip to see her play in the World Series. It's quite a long flight, and they've had quite a long stay in Columbus. Not too concerned as Puakea is back up. A lot of softball in a very short amount of time being played here in Columbus. Marian leading by 2. Now in a bit of danger themselves with runners at the corners. And no outs. This was the part of the lineup that ended up chasing Sydney Wilson back an inning ago.
That's right, 7, 8, 9, hit 3 hits in a row. Great situation. And, you go back to situational softball, so you first and third, no outs. Are you playing for score just a runner at third, by squeeze or base hit, ground ball to the middle, fly ball, tag up, or are you going to take some big ABs and try to play for a big inning? If you run it first, maybe trying to steal her first to get runners, both runners scoring position. A lot of things, first and third, no outs is one of the worst situations for a defense. A lot of things could go wrong.
Milbourne gets her foot and ankle wrapped in the dugout by the athletic trainer. Meanwhile, this game has really come to a halt.
I'm glad they're going to give her time. Wrap it up, let her get back out there. She deserves to be out there. We've got plenty of time for her to them to wrap. I say that, there's certain sports like tennis, certain those things, man, they get a time limit on that injury thing. And, kids come this far, just let them get the necessary medic work that they need and let them get back out there.
For Milbourne, she takes perhaps a piece of gum delivered by Bobby Mick over at first base.
That's awesome. Glad to see her back in the game.
Back to the action. Addie Kashnik reached on a single last time up, stole second and came around to score what was just the game's second run an inning ago. Coach, what does that long timeout do for Olivia Stunkel?
Yeah, it's not that. That's not a big deal to the pitcher at that point. I say that she falls behind 2-0, but it should give her time to collect some thoughts, because after the bunt play that you just talked about, that takes the air out of you. So you need a little bit of a break right there.
Kashnik popped right to first base. Norman able to make up for the error with the flyout for out number 1.
Jammed her back inside. But, you know, a lot of times after that error, coaches do call timeout, come out, try to calm the pitcher down. So, in essence, that's kind of the same. I would feel like the same kind of timeout.
Nita Cook with the RBI double. Stands in with still a runner stranded 60 feet away at third base.
She's working. She's working that inside corner, and they've got to have the answer. And she's not going away from that.
The 1-1 gets a piece of Nita Cook. Now the base is loaded for the top of the lineup. Just one out in the top of the 4th. Oregon Tech took a 3-0 lead an inning ago. Marian responded with 5 runs. Now OIT in an elimination game has a chance to tie things back up with Zoe Allen, the leadoff hitter. Allen hasn't had a hit since the first game and the first inning of game number 1 for Oregon Tech. 0 of 8 since then.
Let's see if she runs through the box as a slapper. And there's a pretty big hole in the 5-6, and Stunkel seems committed to the outside pitch. Good spot for a ground ball RBI.
Slap to third. No play, as the catch was made by Haley Green, getting her mitt down on the dirt, 2 away.
It's a great play. A lot of folks don't realize how hard a third baseman, line drive from the left side from the hitter. Got to be good reflex. You got to be willing to be in that close position. Great play by Green.
Kayla Mick, a single and a line out.
I'm Kayla Mick. Bases loaded, 2 outs. It seems like the momentum switch. Slow your AB down here. Look for the pitch that you want to hit. Got a good count, down 2-0. This is kind of where we talk about cutting the plate in half or cutting the plate down in 4. So condense your zone.
She's second on the team with RBIs at 48 on the year. Strike 1 called by Antonio Flores on the outside edge.
You know, you want to come away with 1 run here if you're Oregon Tech. You know, if you don't, then that momentum's really going to change even more. Went upstairs, full count. Good pitch. Stunkel, get her a chase on that. 2-2 count.
Kayla Mick watches ball 3. Base is loaded. 2 outs. Top of the 4th. Oregon Tech down by 2. Kayla Mick's dad stands 60 feet behind her, coaching first base. The pitch from Stunkel. 2 hop to short. Harwager easily makes the play to Dalton to retire the side. 3 left stranded. No run score. Marian goes back to the plate, this time with a lead. Georgia, I've been treated quite well down here. No one's given me any strange looks when I ask for a soda pop, but Coke down here.
That was our conversation. What do you call it? It's Coke. whether it's a Pepsi or a Coca-Cola, tell them you want a Coke, and that's what you're going to get.
It's a great day to sip on a Coca-Cola or whatever kind of Coke you want at R.G. Jones Field. A leadoff bunt for Savannah Harwager. One down. degrees, partly cloudy. Man, that Coca-Cola was a bad decision in between half innings. 83 degrees, partly cloudy in Columbus. Perfect weather for softball.
Yeah, I drink a Mountain Dew or Orange Sunkiss. That's all I drink, or Sprite. Don't drink any dark drinks, but I call them all Cokes.
You'd be rather upset if you came up to Buffalo and ordered a Coke.
I got some family members that call it pop and call it soda. And, I can't get it, don't understand it, but it's all good. Everybody in our part of the country's got what we need to say. And
hit to second. Nita Cook just beats out Anna Pritchett, who bolted down the first base line. 2 down.
Great start of Oregon Tech, getting the 1 and 2 hitters out, especially after not scoring with bases loaded earlier. So see if they can get a quick 1, 2, 3 and come back to work and get a little momentum on their side.
For the freshman Nita Cook at second base, she covered first on the first play, made the catch to retire Harwager, and then fields the grounder easily to her fellow classmate Milborn over at first. Kenzie Staub seems to have settled in within the circle for the Owls since coming in to replace Casey Schmidt.
Yeah, I really like how she's throwing the ball around the plate. It's just not all outside. She's been inside to the lefty, and she's go up and down and move it a little bit.
Abby Madeir singles to right.
3 for 3 for Abby.
Is that good?
It's not bad. 2 different pitchers. And doesn't seem like she's off time on any of them.
Well, she had 2 doubles before that. Kind of a letdown with a single to right.
Yeah, no, that's. I always had that problem too, and I hit back-to-back doubles.
Sierra Norman in a familiar situation steps up with Madeir at first, or Madeir on base rather. Had a homer back in the third.
It's big AB right here. Marian's got the lead. If you're Oregon Tech, you get her out. Maybe catch a little bit of that momentum wave. If you're Marian, then you got your home run hitter here squaring something up. Maybe get another run or 2 out of it. It's a big moment within all the moments.
What a metaphor for life. This Marian Knights team started the year after an opening loss at Indiana Tech. Like most teams from up north, made the trip down south, played in Florida, went 10-0 in the Sunshine State before returning back up to Indiana. Another one of those moments.
A lot of times,
Wow, how about the play up by our cameraman? Kyle Bonet with a little hacky sack move to keep that one in front of him.
I hear a lot of people talk about these northern teams that don't get to go outside. But we can go to Florida for 2 weeks.
A long drive that dies in the air and lands in the glove of Maggie Buckholtz. 1 left, Madeir stays at first as we end the 4th inning. The 5th, the Marian defense on the field. Both teams have already made a pitching change. All 8 runs scored in the 3rd inning. Coach Brad Huskisson, you mentioned before as the pitchers came in, there was an intelligence gathering period of what do they throw, how do they work. Is that time up yet?
Well, I think so. So now we're in that second game. And, we went from the first 2 innings being quick, then also the third inning was all offense. Now I think we're back to another inning where it's touch and go. Everybody looking and making the field, making adjustments, and there's always 3 games. It seems like in between every game. And now we're in that, I don't want to call it dull, but now we're in that, all right, everybody's learned something, so now the offense kind of dies down and waiting for another adjustment.
How about the off speed there from Stunkel?
I'm going to tell you, and Stunkel's throwing the ball since she's entered the game. She has absolutely been lights out. It's a great-looking changeup.
This is the second time through the lineup for Olivia Stunkel.
Nice drop ball.
Oh, a crack of the bat for Maggie Buckholtz, a leadoff single.
There's a reason why that kid is batting .422 and has 30-plus extra base hits. That's a great-looking swing.
You could say that's a D1 swing.
That's, even her setup, the open stance, and her timing, everything looks great on that.
Maggie Buckholtz was originally committed to play at the University of Oregon. But then an injury back in high school. She fell downstairs at her house, believe it or not. I asked if it was a softball injury. Nope, just a rare on your phone walking down the stairs. Fell, broke her foot.
Wow.
9 screws and a plate later.
So it's a phone injury.
There it is.
It's a texting or Instagram injury, right? It's these young kids.
Well, she found a home at the University of New Mexico, getting a full ride there, but it just didn't feel right to her. Started to lose the love of the game, did the runner at first, Maggie Buckholtz. She was just about done with the game of softball before she got a call and met with Coach Greg Stewart, fell in love with the campus at Oregon Tech. The rest history.
See, that's an awesome story. With me being a D2 coach, and you hear all about the D1, and, it's about these kids. Find that fit, find that place that you fall in love with, and go and have a great softball career, but a great academic and relationships and all that stuff. That's great to hear. It doesn't have to be all big or bust, Just find what it is you want to find that makes you happy.
She found a good major that she liked. Electrical engineering and renewable energy.
Okay. That was going to be my minor about 35 years ago, but I decided to just go in PE instead. So.
She's wicked smart, let me tell you. A double major. She was a nursing major at New Mexico State, or at New Mexico, rather.
Yeah. I don't know her, but it sounds like she's going to have a promising career when she's done playing softball. Very promising career. She's got her head on her shoulders and intelligent and follows her heart. It's a great story.
J.C. Stevert stands in.
Can you say what her major was again, Jack?
Yeah, Maggie Buckholtz. Electrical engineering is 1 degree, and then renewable energy is the second.
Okay.
Sievert earns a walk that moves the brilliant Buckholtz to second. And just like that, the first 2 batters of the 5th are on base. And while we were talking, Sievert with a great at-bat to earn herself the walk.
Ran it deep, didn't chase anything.
Now Lexi Klum, who's 0 for 2 today, drops down the bunt. The play from Green gets away from Dalton. 1 run scores as Buckholtz gets fired up behind the plate.
All right, Jack, you've kept talking about that bunt play. I'm not a guy that makes excuses, but that's twice by different teams. And I'm looking at where we're at. I'm not sure if that sun is not playing. You know, it goes shadow into the sun, and I think that sun may be kind of in that direction. I'm not sure if that's going to play, if that's what's going on. I mean, it throws a little wide, but I still think it's catchable. I'm not sure if that sun is not having a little effect on that.
An error on Haley Green. Second error in back-to-back innings against the defense of Marian. They still hold the lead at 5-4, though Oregon Tech would like to steal it back after leading 3-0 2 innings ago. 6 hits apiece now. After that was quite lopsided as well. 5-1 at one point. Runners at the corners for Kenzie Staub, the opposing pitcher. Now her second time getting to see Olivia Stunkel.
You know, as good as Stunkel has been, those first 5-6 batters, she's got a lot of these opponents are getting on base. And not sure if looks like she's a little aggravated on the inside pitch not getting called, and I'm not sure if she can run that ball on a curveball outside. She's a screwball inside type kid, so she's got to make some kind of adjustment right now.
Dropped, 1 out.
Oh.
Well, it looked as though Mackenzie Dalton wanted to go to first, but she hesitated. Could have doubled up there.
Well, the runner was only 10 feet off and was standing up, and she didn't want to throw. Whew, you know, it's got to go ahead and make the throw. Get her out of the way. You almost can argue an obstruction, even though I know she's still 40 feet from the base.
Puakea Milbourne has yet to be sat down. A single, and she reached on an error in the fourth. Staub takes off for second, uncovered.
That's the old never age softball fake bunt, steal first and third.
Sievert still stands 60 feet away. A loud hit to center field over the head of Pritchett. Sievert scores. Lexi Klum scores. Puakea Milbourne off the bench gets to second base with the heel wrapped.
There's her Puakea with a big double. Watch her swing. She put all she had in that. That's a nice double. She's fired up. She wasn't coming out of the game when she hurt her foot. Now she comes gets a good big 2 RBI double. Kid loves playing softball.
Well, correction. It was not Lexi Klum who scored the second run, the go-ahead run. Instead, it is Kenzie Staub who reached on the fielder's choice. Now Addie Kashnik popped to first in the fourth. What a back-and-forth game this is. Feels like one of those, Coach, where the team that's up at the plate second to end the game will somehow walk it off. A deep shot to left center. Oh, what a play from Anna Pritchett! The Gold Glove freshman jumps in the air for out number 2.
Best play of the day. Best play of the day. If you've seen a better one this tournament, I got to see it.
We've had a lot of really good plays today. The second diving catch from Pritchett today.
And what's impressive is she knew she was going to run into the fence and did not care. She was going regardless.
Anna Pritchett began the year in left field. Jenna Minix got hurt. She had to move over to center and earned the Gold Glove Award. The ball gets away from the catcher Meyer And just like that, it's a 2-run lead as Milbourne takes advantage.
You know, something that didn't I'm not sure if Milbourne tagged up at second or not on the play to center field. And that's an appeal. That's not automatic. I'm not sure if not everybody missed that. And she may have, but everybody's caught watching 5 seconds on the great play, but I'm not sure if she tagged up.
It's ruled a wild pitch on Stunkel that scores Milbourne. The inning ends with a new leader. Oregon Tech on top, 7-5 to the bottom of the 5th. We go. Alongside Brad Huskisson, under the direction of Adam Hamill with our crew from Turbo Sports. A 7-5 lead for Oregon Tech in the NAIA Softball World Series. Winner advances to the night game against Cumberland's. Losers' season comes to a close. In the 3rd inning, the Owls of Oregon Tech took a 3-0 lead. Marian responded with 5 runs in the bottom of the 3rd. A scoreless 4th, 4 runs in the top of the 5th. Now Marian a chance to answer once more.
It's a momentum game. There's only been scoring in 3 innings, but it's been a 3, 5, and a 4 spot. That's a momentum game.
It was a pitching change for both teams that leveled that momentum for at least that 1 inning.
At least for 1 inning. That's right.
Haley Green was hit by a pitch. She came around to score in the 3rd. That loud crossbar at R.G. Jones Field in Columbus, Georgia, rings out once more.
I do like the way Stubb is throwing the ball, though. I like the way she keeps that ball low and away. I like the way Stunkel's throwing the inside, but, you know, she's not getting the calls that she wants. And
shot to right. Buchholz charges in and almost collides with the second baseman, Nita Cook, but it's the freshman who makes the play in shallow right.
Another great effort by both players.
You know, and Buchholz was there as well. Her mitt
there.
right below it.
Like seeing them talk a little better, not make it so difficult, but you like the hustle for both players.
So a long fly out to second and a line drive off the bat of Grace Meyer directly to Kayla Mick. 2 down.
Another great pitch. But McKenzie Staub it. She may be finding a groove now.
Savannah Baker hit an RBI double in the 3rd.
It's a great pitch. Not giving that corner, but that's a great spot. Working the outside curve.
Staub now equal in innings pitched today with Casey Schmidt, who was the starter. Casey, 5 hits, 5 earned run against, and 2 walks. Staub has come in the last 2 1/3 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs. Still no strikeouts, but no walks either. Now down in the count 2-0.
It's one thing. I mean, how many walks has been total? 2 walks, both teams. I know it's been a hit by pitch. 2 walks, maybe, I think.
Schmidt walked 2 herself, and Stunkel has walked 2 on the flip side. But now make it walk number 5 as Savannah Baker takes first base. Lily Went pitch hit in this spot. Last time around, she flew out to center. So instead, Coach Scott Fleming goes back to the replacement catcher, or to the starting catcher, rather. Now the designated player, Caroline Roop. No, introduced as Roop, though this is Went. Take it all back.
Take it all back. It's hard to see the jerseys up here. The jerseys are kind of, the numbers are blending into the uniform.
Especially in that shadow, just covering the third baseline all the way down to home plate. Up and in. Kenzie Staub starting to lose the zone. You get a look at that shadow. Definitely plays an effect. We saw it earlier on a throw from just in front of the plate to first. A loud crack of the bat. Maggie Buckholtz easily tracks that one. One left. It's been beautiful weather here in Columbus, Georgia for the last week of the Softball World Series. But boy, do they sprinkle that outfield. The sprinkler system was on as we walked in early this afternoon. In the heat of Columbus, Georgia, I guess for good reason, they drench the field.
The heat is different down here, and it will affect that grass, that Bermuda grass. Doesn't take long for it to turn brown.
Zoe Allen able to drop it in the soft spot. She goes for two and gets it. A leadoff double for the leadoff hitter, Zoe Allen.
Found that spot right on the cue. Get a little side spin on that ball. Watch it kick to the line. There's your double there.
The two Savannahs got caught up. Harwager made the long run to the foul line, but Savannah Baker had a read on it. Looked like she held up. The bunt attempt for Kayla Mick for naught. 1 for 3 today is Kayla with a single back in the third.
See if Oregon Tech works a short game. Try and get Allen over to third. So try to stretch the lead out to 3 runs. Nope.
A long drive to left. Savannah Baker easily reads that one and makes the play for out number 1. Allen stays at second. This is the 5th time in program history that Oregon Tech is in the World Series. 4th straight year they've made it. Reached the finals 2 seasons ago in 2021 and lost to their rival Southern Oregon. The Raiders of Southern Oregon already clinched a spot in the championship this year. Previously, they defeated Oregon Tech 10-0 after the Owls defeated the Raiders 5 times before the meeting in the World Series. Maggie Buckholtz drops one in. Allen set around third. Buckholtz takes second on an errant throw to first. The Owls add another. It's a 3-run lead.
Great piece of hitting by, of course, Maggie Buckholtz. But this was a big inning right here with runner 2, 3, 4, and 5 of these 3 kids coming up. This can make or break the rest of the game here.
That toss from Abby Madeir, it got away from her. Looks like the ball just slipped out of her hand. And that allowed Maggie Buckholtz to take second base.
Yeah, she thought about coming forward, but you got to think about how deep you were and how quick the lead runner got. No need to be shooting 4. Go ahead and bring it into 2. Just a little more communication from the catcher on to the middle infield, out to the outfield.
Now an 8-5 lead for the number 1 seeded Owls. Sievert skies one to left center. Pritchett makes the play. Anna Pritchett has been everywhere in center field for Marian. 3 freshman starters in the outfield for the Knights.
Stunkel's still making great. Olivia Stunkel's still making great pitches. It's Oregon Tech. They're putting 2 good back-to-back ABs the last couple innings. mean, meaning, you know, if one kid gets out, the next two kids are doing something productive. And there's not a one productive and then out, then a productive. It's two. You know, 2 or 3 productive ABs in a row leads to some runs.
That's been the key to success all year long for Oregon Tech. They're not home run happy, but they've been hitting the ball hard all year.
Well, you got the 7, 8, 9 in the third inning. And then now it seems like you get the first, second, and third going.
Pop up in foul territory. Meyer makes the play to end the inning, or at least the top of it. 1 run scores. Zoe Allen got on with a double and came around to score thanks to Maggie Buckholt.
Into this inning, be down 2, be down 1. And that starts with leadoff having good approaches, looking for your pitches and not being in a rush.
A pinch hitter to start this bottom of the 6th. As in the 9 hole. We'll wait to see a number or hear an announcement. Looks like Brenna Fink standing at the plate, and there it is, the freshman playing for her hometown team. Marian in familiar territory, though, being down by 3 this late in the game in the 6th. They were down 8-2 against Cumberland's 2 games ago. That was back on Saturday. They put 2 runs up in each the 5th and the 6th innings. Though a record-setting 3 home run performance for Mackenzie Keats put any chance of a comeback to rest. Called strike 3 on Fink as Kenzie Staub starts the bottom of the 6th on fire.
Yeah, that's a great Mackenzie Staub. He just got to the full count. He hadn't called a couple of spots. He went right back to that outside screwball.
Staub's first strikeout on the day. Savannah Harwager, without a hit today, is 0 for 2 with a walk in the 3rd.
Yeah, it's a great time for her to get things going here with 1 out. Plus, she's got speed to move around the bases.
We heard her in the open talk about how she's been able to get so good at the plate this season. She mentioned it was all about taking the pressure off of her that she used to put on herself as the leadoff hitter.
Well, you know, pressure is always self-inflicted, and that's something we talk about with our team is your mind, your brain. You put the pressure on you on what you think are bigger moments for you. You know, nobody else is doing that. It's you. And I'm glad to see she's learning how to handle that.
That comes from a coach who knows his stuff, Coach Brad Uskison at D2 Columbus State. And congrats. 46 wins this year. Not too shabby.
Not too bad. Pretty good year. pretty excited for the girls. And it's our 2nd most we've ever had at CSU. So it was a really good time. We had a really good year, and most importantly, we had a good time doing it. And wouldn't trade it for anything.
Harwager walks, and Coach Greg Stewart comes off the bench for a meeting with the entire infield. Now, at this point in the game, Coach, you're not thinking about bringing your starter Casey Schmidt back in, are you?
I'm not. I like the way that Mackenzie Staub is throwing the ball. I would think right now their conversation is, we got one out, we got the number 2 hitter, Anna Pritchett up. Let's get her, or let's get the lead out. Let's do not let Abby McDeer and Sierra Norman be able to come to the plate with 2 people on and less than 2 outs. And so maybe how they're going to approach this kid, how the defense is going to set up. Are they looking for forced play, or just slowing things down, get the out right here. Not let your 3 and 4 come up.
Just a quick conversation for the 9-time Cascade Conference Coach of the Year. Won it last year, won it this year. He was the National Coach of the Year back in 2011 when the Owls won the World Series. He's got quite a path.
I'll tell you what's great, these 2 coaches, and there's a lot more of these coaches in this tournament that have been at their respected schools for numerous years, and longevity and veterans and successful programs, and it just tells you about the sport of softball and the commitment that people make and how good things are. And, you know, there's a lot of good programs out there at any level.
Hit up the middle. The step on second for 1. The throw to first in time. The freshman Nita Cook was on SportsCenter last night. She might make it on in back-to-back days as she steps on second and fires to first for the double play.
Gotta believe that's a result of that coaches of the conference. You know, that ball's inside, ground ball, great double play ball. That's a result of the timeout.
In the circle, Jayla Gilliam comes in as a junior this year. Gilliam is making her 12th appearance today, just a win and a 3.78 ERA. She comes in relief of Olivia Stunkel. Some other changes. Roop back into catcher. Dalton re-enters at second.
Yeah, you know, they can see the Oregon Tech has scored the last 2 innings, so they got to try to keep the lead at or being down 3. So you know, the change of pace. See what Gillum throws more in or more out. She seems to be kind of going back in as well.
That was really in on Kenzie Staub. 6, 7, 8. Here in the top half of the 7th for Oregon Tech, leading by 3. Four pitches, all outside of the zone. Staub takes first.
That's not the start that you want.
Puakea Milborn, who has had herself a day. The depth of this lineup is so impressive. 1 through 9. There's not a time that you want to say, okay, now we bring in our relief pitcher with some lower batting averages.
That's right. They, you know, hitting a team batting average 342.
High floater in foul territory. Savannah Baker grabs it for out number 1.
I'm looking here. I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You got 9 kids, not 11 kids batting over 300 in your lineup. So, you know, where's the easy part at?
It's a trick question. That's how you get to be the 1 seed in the NAIA World Series.
Exactly. I like the idea in the 3rd inning, you know, the 7, 8, 9 was hit. And, you know, oh, by the way, 1 and 2 got hits. And then you go in the 5th inning, and here comes 3, 4, 5. It just –
not to discredit Oregon Tech, but throughout the last 3 innings, there have been 3 errors made by the Marian defense that have not helped.
Right. You know, our team this year, Jack, we hit over 330 as a team, hit 100 and some odd home runs, but we had all 9 of our starters and 2 bench kids all hit over 300, and that's the first time in my career we ever had that. And it was just, you know, every day there was a different 2 or 3 hitters in the mix, bottom order, middle order, top of the order, and it's just, you know, that's why you win a lot of games. And
Kashnik for out number 2. Well, Coach, I guess that's how you make it to the NCAA D2 postseason tournament.
I hope that's the key. You know, we try to make every out hard. And look, Gillum coming in, she's a little slower speed, and you can see the Oregon Tech kids lunging forward a little bit. You know, that's going to take some time for them to get used to that. So, good move right here, maybe getting out of this inning and still being down 3.
Nita Cook has been doing it extremely well defensively at second base for the Owls over the last about 26 hours. She's been impressive.
Yeah, her 2 RBI double in third was probably one of her biggest hits of the year, I would imagine. That kind of got things going a little bit.
That was just one of 49 hits for the freshman this season.
It's a good 9-hole hitter to have. Got a 9-hole hitter hitting over 300, but hitting doubles in the gap for RBIs.
Called strike 2. This Oregon Tech team clearly going to be in the conversation for a World Series for years to come.
Good changeup with Gillum.
Jayla Gilliam. With Staub at first, that was just her 9th walk this year. Cook turns on this one. Though not enough muscle behind it. Savannah Harwager retires the side. Marian, or their season comes to a close. First pitch swinging, Abby Madeir flies out to center.
It's a great cut. Abby Madeir, you know, you want to make a comeback, you want to be completely in control of every pitch and not give them quick outs and easy outs, but you want your swings hard and your eyes are taking good pitches. So it's going to take more than 1 or 2 swings of the bat to tie this thing up.
Since coming in the 3rd, Kenzie Staub has allowed just 1 hit with no runs against. A 5-run bottom of the 3rd for Marian. Overcame a 3-0 deficit back then. Though since this change was made in the circle for the Owls, it's been null. Though a hit for Haley, or rather Sierra Norman, could be the spark plug. The ball bounces around in the infield. Norman dives back to first. A 1-out single.
Yeah, Mackenzie Stubbs, she's been automatic when she's come in. I like the way she's been throwing the ball. She's worked all the locations and kept them off balance. And
that's the longest single you'll see all day.
it's the longest single.
And a pinch runner at first. It's Caitlin Phillips. Now Haley Green. She's reached on an error and a hit by pitch.
Oregon Tech sitting in double play depth right now.
Though instead it's a fly to center. In the gap it falls. Phillips moves to second as Haley Green gets on first.
It's always the same. It's hard to finish ball games and bloopers. are just as damaging as anything else. And here we go with this is going to come down to the wire. This is what championship softball should be about. Wouldn't think Marian be any less. You know, they're here for a reason, and they're going to continue to fight to the last out. It's going to be a great finish here.
Scott Fleming understands in his 20th season as head coach, 5th appearance in the World Series all time. He knows how close he is to the championship game, but they've got to overcome a 3-run deficit to do it. He sends in Abby Wiry to first to run in place of Haley Green. Now Grace Meyer. First pitch popped up to the pitcher. Staub retires out number 2.
Yeah, not a bad decision. I mean, it was an inside pitch, got jammed a little bit, but, you know, it's probably good thought process by Grace Meyer trying to swing, square it up. Why not?
But now Savannah Baker with the chance of a lifetime. The freshman watches ball 1 earlier in the tournament. Baker in a very close ball game against Our Lady of the Lake stepped up to the plate in the top of the 6th, down 2-1, and blasted a grand slam to send Marian on.
She's got a great swing, and she got a double earlier in this game that went deep out in left center gap, and she's going to take a cut. That's for sure.
Is 1-1 the time to do it?
Good cut. Mackenzie Staub staying on the outside curveball.
Staub 1 strike away from playing again tonight against Cumberlands. The 1-2. Oregon Tech stays alive. They're 1 win away from the championship game. Marian's season comes to a close, 8-5. They fall to the number 1 seed.
It's a great ball game, Jack. I think the difference is I think Mackenzie Staub. She came in and after that 5-run inning and came in the middle there, and she shut it down. Hadn't scored on her since, and you know, hats off to the Oregon Tech offense. Bottom order does something, top order does something, middle order does something. Pretty well balanced team.